Hi, welcome to the Honey and Harry Show. I'm Honey.
And I'm Harry. I'm in Mr. Producer's chair tonight.
And today we have two guests that I think a lot of people in Baton Rouge have so many questions tonight for y'all. I have Robbie Podorsky and Matt Mistretta. Story, and I know Matt owns Total Diamond Performance. I'm getting all this right. It is actually over there by Traction. So Traction is still there, but he owns the other side. He owns the Burbank side of, which is now Total Diamond Performance. Robbie is, what is your title again? We have it up here, Dad. What is it again? The
Assistant Director of
Player Development. So, but Robbie, I kind of want to start with you because, if that's okay, I want to start with him. I've known Robbie his whole life, basically. And Robbie, you've had such a career. You really have. I know you started when you were little. When we met you, you could skate like no other because he played hockey, which was so cool for all of us in Baton Rouge. No, we didn't know anybody that played hockey, right? And your calves were huge. I mean,
genetics.
I know.
Genetics.
He had the biggest calves I ever saw on a child. That was so small. I was like, oh my gosh, you know. But Robbie was a hustler and always worked harder than anybody else, I have to say, when they were, at least when Duty and y'all were playing. And fast. Always awesome in the outfield. So kind of tell everybody, because you went pretty far with your baseball career.
Yeah, not as far as I would have liked to, but looking back at it, I'm very happy with how the career went, and I got a lot of people to thank. My family for always being supportive, and my wife for always being there. Yeah, it's been a wonderful journey full of ups and downs.
Absolutely. A lot. But you went and played. So he went to Dutchtown.
Yes.
And you played at Dutchtown, and then you got an offer from McNeese, right?
Before McNeese, I had 3 offers. I had Nichols, Southeastern, and ULM.
Okay.
And I actually went to ULM first.
That's right,
I went there for 2 years.
You did.
And the original coach that I went to go play for, he got fired. And when the new guy came in, I ended up getting the short end of the stick. He brought in a bunch of new guys and pulled my scholarship. Thankfully, Chris Shake Snyder at Dutchtown, my former head coach at Dutchtown, called up Delgado Community College, and they gave me an offer, and I was there for 1 year.
Okay.
I had a good season. I had my second shoulder surgery then. I had a couple shoulder surgeries.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you went through it.
And then 2 weeks after the season, McNeese called, had one opening, and ended up having a really good year. And
an amazing year.
Yeah.
Hey, and I'm going to brag a little bit. He got the most stolen bases record and still holds that to this day. So that's huge. That's those legs.
Yeah, actually, I really didn't know what speed could really do on the base pass until I got to McNeese in the fall.
Really?
I asked the coaches, if in the fall we're just scrimmaging each other, and I asked if every time I got on first I could try to steal second. I wanted to see what I could and couldn't get away with. When the games didn't matter. Yeah. And I went the whole fall without getting thrown out. And so after that they gave me the green light to basically continue that.
Oh wow.
When the season picked up in the spring.
Okay. Well, and then I know you got picked up by the minors, right?
Yeah.
How does that even happen? So kind of explain that a little bit.
So it was actually a midweek game. We played LSU. We ended up beating them 5-2 at our place.
Oh, wow.
At McNeese. And I ended up stealing on a pitch out. And that night, my phone started ringing with local scouts, just saying that they're interested. They wanted me to fill out questionnaires. I think I ended up filling out 13 or 14 questionnaires for different MLB organizations. And did a couple interviews with them. And yeah, the draft happened, and I was selected in the 25th round by San Diego.
Oh, my gosh. So you started off there, because I know as we were talking earlier in the den, we were kind of talking, and, me not knowing baseball so much, y'all just get traded back and forth, and you said that's what you want to happen, right?
Yeah, typically later on you want to get traded. So how the minors works, there's a bunch of levels. It's just like any job where you start at the bottom and you have to slowly work your way up. You have to graduate to the next level. Whether that's the guy in front of you gets hurt, gets traded, gets cut, but something has to happen in order for you to move up. And it could be like I'm playing with this one team for one day, and then somebody gets hurt at the level above, and after that game, they tell me, hey, you're going to play.
Oh, wow.
You're going to play in California tomorrow. Your flight leaves at 11 p.m. So
that's so crazy.
Go to the hotel, pack up your stuff, and you're living out of a suitcase.
Oh my gosh, I know, because like your mom had told me. Did you play in Australia?
Yes. It was actually right before COVID hit. I had missed a good portion of the actual season the year before with another shoulder operation, and they wanted to get me a lot of reps during winter ball. So they gave me a contract in Australia. I was there for 2 months.
Isn't that crazy? I would have never thought like Australia. And then you played. So you played for the Padres. I know that.
Yes.
So I have some pictures. I think I had a picture of the Padres of you playing for them, right, Dad? Oh yeah. Those are some of the pictures that that's your grandmother. We had to put that one up. We love Miss Pam. But so who were you playing for here?
That's the El Paso Chihuahuas. That was our AAA affiliate. Yeah, in El Paso, right on the border.
I don't know that. We know my dog. And that's you at McNeese. And then that's how you got. And I had to put this up. And the only reason I put this up is he's in walk-ons in Gonzales, and my grandson, that's his favorite place to sit because that's Uncle Dee Dee's friend. So, but anyways, how did you get that? How did they let you get your get up there?
I honestly, I don't know. I was getting text messages from from friends saying, "Dude, you're on the wall at walk-ons." And
you don't even know.
They didn't ask. They didn't tell me. I just saw pictures of it. And
that's so crazy. That's so crazy. So, when did your career end with that in the minors?
November of 2022. I ended up having a fourth shoulder operation.
Yeah.
JP, my son, who's about to turn 2, he was getting close to being born, and it was time. We played a lot of baseball games, and my body ended up just not being able to handle it. And
that's what happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's what your body just can't take it anymore. I mean, I don't even think if my daughter could have ran after. It's so hard on y'all. Practice so much, and it's just a lot. So anyways, I want to get to you, Matt. So yes. Matt, actually, I didn't know you growing up, but you went to St. Michael's with Lindsay. You were 2 years older.
Yes.
And you played baseball over there.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you went on to Mississippi College, right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, born and raised in Baton Rouge, played baseball at St. Michael's. Got the opportunity. Honestly, I probably shouldn't have gone and played college baseball, but me and Robbie, I think we gravitate towards each other. Obviously, he's a way better athlete than what I was or am, but people telling me I couldn't do something, like my thing was, I'm gonna show you can't, or like show you that you're wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
So went there, Mississippi College, graduated there. I played 4 years of baseball, graduated in sports management. I mean, I went there not knowing anybody.
Really?
And I'm a pretty personable guy, but still that's still scary. Right?
It's tough. It's very tough.
But I ended up developing a lot of really great relationships with guys that I still have today. There was one of my best friends who I was in his wedding. He started 4 years. He's sending me videos of his boy, who's 3 or 4 years old, swinging. He's like,
yeah.
I can't wait to bring him down for you to see him. And it's like, that means more to me than anything.
No, it's those life. It's such a bond, because I know both of my daughters were athletes in college, and Peanut was the same situation with you. Went to Northwestern and knew no one. but the bond y'all make with these athletes, y'all just go through so much that like it's a lifetime friendship. Oh, okay. We have to ask so Catherine wants
Who's
to know
Catherine?
who's Catherine, huh? Mama Cat. She wants to know, how do y'all stay motivated through adversity?
Yeah, I'll speak on that.
Yeah,
just
please.
from a player and a coach perspective. We teach these kids, like our younger boys, that, like, especially with baseball, there's a lot of failure,
Yeah.
right? And it's how you deal with it, and coaching them through that, how to deal with striking out, how to deal with making an error, how to deal with, in a big situation, you're not successful, right? To where more times than not, you're going to get another opportunity, and you've been through that, and we're coaching you through that, to where they're prepared the next time that situation happens, they're ready for it.
I
Because
love that.
we don't, something we do is we don't ridicule or talk down to them based on a physical mistake. And what I mean by that is the strikeout, the making an error, and like ripping them on the field. We don't do that.
And I'm just going to tell you, that destroys children.
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, I know kids that have walked away, and it has affected them the rest of their life because some jerk dad said something terrible that just affected them the rest of their. It's terrible. I love that aspect. What you just said. You don't ever hear that. You don't ever hear that on any team, because all I see is a bunch of temper tantrums lots of times. I'm just going to be honest. I do see that out when you go to playing tournament balls. You see a lot of that sometimes, and I feel so sad. I'm like, oh, those poor children. So that's awesome that y'all do that. But what I do want to get back to, you went to LSU, and
Yes,
you
ma'am.
got your master's degree.
Yes, ma'am. So after I finished, so my parents made a deal with me, is if I graduated in 4 years at MC, they would pay for my grad degree wherever I wanted to go. So that was pretty easy
Nice.
decision for me.
That is so nice, huh?
So I moved back to Baton Rouge,
Uh-huh.
went to LSU. I got my degree, or my master's, in pedagogy and psychological science, which
Explain, yes.
so pedagogy is the study of like how people learn,
Oh.
and how I can teach. Like, so for instance, if there's two kids, right,
Mhm.
one guy's going to learn, or girl is going to learn in a different way based on the other, right? So I need to
Uh-huh.
figure out what motivates them. And that's what I got my master's degree in. And
That's incredible.
Initially, I was going to get my master's in sports management, which is what my undergrad was in.
Mm-hmm.
But it changed towards the back end of, I ended up changing it towards the back end of my master's. It helped me to be more versatile. It helped me to be able to hit athletes and people in a different way, right? Be able to get in here, which is honestly the most important thing. And that wasn't my goal going into my grad program.
Really?
But no, it wasn't. It ended up morphing into that.
Oh gosh. I've never heard of that. I'm just letting you know. I've never heard it. I love it though. It's so many more people need to do that, that are working with kids.
And a big reason why I changed is, like, I understood who I was whenever I was a younger player too.
Okay.
Is nobody ever taught me whenever I was a player, the 11 to 17, 18 range, how to deal with failure. I mean, I had good mentors, but nobody showed me things that I can do to handle them. I was trying to handle it the best way I could. My parents were trying to help me, but they don't know, so that's a big reason also why I went into that. And honestly, it's such a blessing. Just the path I went on and being able to, work in pro ball and work with Oregon State. And that's where our mental performance program came is, I'll kind of give you, I'll fast track you. So after I finished my grad program, so it was 2016, I got an internship with the company at the time was called Baseball Info Solutions, which they were a data and analytical company.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there, and it was based in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
So I left my family. I left the girl I was dating at the time.
Oh, wow, you went.
Yeah. And it's in Allentown, which is right out, probably like an hour from Philadelphia. I'm not from there. I don't know anything about there. But ended up also creating good relationships with which I have still with those guys. We had a really close-knit group of about 10 to 14 of us.
Really? That
we still talk to this day. But that propelled me to getting my pro career started in player development.
Oh, wow. So how do you do that? That's crazy.
So
I would think that'd be hard to get into.
So you have to be willing to take the lowest of the low jobs if you want to get to where you want to go in anything you do.
Good advice. Very good advice.
Got to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere.
And so I was working as a video assistant with the Cincinnati Reds in Daytona Beach. So I worked with them in 2017. Then that propelled me to a slightly higher end job with the Minnesota Twins in Fort Myers Beach, working with their minor league affiliate. And then I moved forward with the Seattle Mariners, which that was in 2019, and I was based in Arkansas with their AA teams, which a lot of people don't know is the higher end prospects. So the best players within certain organizations are either in high or AA. So they were entrusting me, right? So I'm pretty much the middleman. So I'm working with the pitching coach, the hitting coach, the manager, helping with advanced reports and all these things. But I'm also the middleman with the players too.
Oh, wow.
Because I want to make sure the players are comfortable with me.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure the coaches are comfortable with me. Sitting in on, player meetings, things like that. And Robbie can probably speak to it a little bit from a player perspective. There's a lot of respect from the player side with what we do, because I wasn't getting paid very much anything.
Really?
Yes. And
that's such an important job, I would think.
It is. It's my end goal was to, since I was a kid, was to be a general manager of a professional baseball team.
Oh, wow.
So that's why I was willing to put in the time I had to and take a lower end job, even though I had 2 degrees to get to where I wanted to go.
Yeah, 2 degrees. Yeah.
Right. So, I was going back for my second year, and then I was in spring training with the Mariners.
Oh, wow.
And we were in Peoria, which is where the Padres are.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Mariners.
Same spring training complex.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
so
kind of
it's the
crazy.
same
Shared a
thing.
big stadium.
Okay.
Yeah, right next door to each other.
Yeah, it's crazy how it works.
That is crazy.
But, COVID hits, and, pretty much within 2 days, we got to pack our stuff up and go home.
I remember that.
Yeah. And I'll backtrack a little bit. Prior to that, I was working with Oregon State in the off season, their baseball program. The coach I was with prior to that with the Mariners, with their AA affiliate, the Arkansas Travelers. His name's Mitch Canham. He got the job mid-season in 2019 to go to Oregon State, which is where he was a catcher. He was a first or second rounder. He was their starting catcher on their 06 and 07 national championship teams.
Oh, wow.
Good ball out there.
Yeah. And he's a big reason why, and I talk to him to this day.
Really?
He's a big reason why I am where I am. He empowered me. I was out in Corvallis, Oregon. I drove from Baton Rouge with my dad. Even though it was a 2.5 month, it was pretty much it was a contract job, but he wanted to bring professional development to college baseball, even though Oregon State's, they're an esteemed program in Division I baseball. But he entrusted me, which honestly I was like, holy cow, like this guy's trusting me with this program. And it's his first year, right? So, and I'm traveling, I'm from the South, like, I didn't know what to expect. But the staff he hired, they were incredible. They trusted me. They welcomed me, which makes it so much easier to do your job, as opposed to if somebody's constantly over your shoulder telling you how to do your job.
Oh yeah, no, that's such a compliment to you too, for him to entrust you. I mean, that's huge.
Yeah,
that says a lot about you.
Yeah, no, thank you. I talked to him 2 weeks ago. And we were just talking shop, just talking baseball. He loves, which is what I try to incorporate into our program, is the culture. Within our youth teams, within everything we do, is having a positive, healthy learning environment for all these kids. It's not always rainbows and butterflies, but we want to make sure, just like all these parents want to make sure their kids are in the right situation. And
I love that. I don't know any parent that wouldn't. And it's genius that you're doing this. I mean, I'm so, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. So honestly, what happened is, after my contract with Oregon State, after I finished with that, I was going in my second year with the Mariners, and then the COVID thing happened. And then, I'm packing my stuff up and I'm driving from Scottsdale, Arizona, back to Baton Rouge with my dog, with like everything. And, I called my parents, and I was, at the time, I think it was 30, 31. And it's like, I have to come home. Like, I really don't have a choice at this point. So once I came home, there's that March to May span, right, to where everything's on lockdown. You can hardly get out of your house, right? But during that time, I took everything I learned from coaching, from playing, from working in college and pro baseball, and developed a business model. And it's taken off from there.
Amazing.
Yeah. So we incorporate the video and the data. We incorporate the mental performance, which is the program I create, or the program I have for mental performance, is something I did whenever I was at Oregon State.
Really?
That was a big part of my job was taking everything I learned and incorporating a program for them. And I'm fresh into this, and I'm speaking in front of one of the top 10 to 15 programs in the country.
Oh my gosh!
And it was a little intimidating, but it's something that was huge for my growth individually and professionally. Like doing something like this, like I would have been so scared, but like this type of stuff is easy for me now.
And then that's amazing though.
And it's about the people that I was around, just from a coaching perspective, from working in pro ball. There's so many people that I need to thank. And there's guys that I'm still really, really close with across professional baseball, to where this time of the year, I try to go see some of them, go to Houston, go to Dallas, and go see them do their thing, because they support me. So I want to support them.
Absolutely.
Too.
Absolutely. It's so nice. No, I'm blown away. I didn't even know all that goes on. Why would I? I mean, that's not something you probably even talk about, like what they do behind the scenes, what's going on. But I love how, and I know I mean, this is why you're doing it, right, Robbie? Because it's so important for the boys when they do come off the field and they're crying, and they need this. They so need this. I think this is genius. I'm like, let's open another facility in another place right now, and Honey's gonna run it. I'm gonna go back to school. I love this because it's so positive, and it's and like y'all both been through the baseball thing, and you said there's a lot of emotions that go through when you're hard on yourself, or you're frustrated, or somebody's fussing. It's amazing. So let's look at your we have a question. I have a question. You want to read? I have a question. Who is the best player you have ever coached after starting with the Mariners?
You saw who asked it.
I see who asked it.
Who is that? Y'all got to tell
Kane.
us. Okay. Is he one of y'all's kids? Oh.
Yeah. He's a stud.
And you know what? And I love the fact, you see how your faces light up when your kids come and ask you something? Y'all love this.
That's why we're in it.
Yeah, that's why you're doing it. And that's why this is going to be huge. I just know this. I have like chills, everything. I'm sad Carter's not on the team right now. It's so sad.
We got plenty of time.
I know. We got time. No, is Mary's little boy's playing, right?
Yeah, he's on our EU team.
Okay. So answer the question.
Dang.
But if you don't want to, look, that's a hard one. If there's something there's probably several.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So we honestly, so I'll speak on this. So me and Robbie coached a team that Robbie was still in pro ball, but there was a group of parents and families that approached me going into their 12-year-old year.
Okay.
And a promise I made to them, which is I'm going to see your kids through until they get to high school. And Kane's a part of that team, and his family's been incredible. And it's all part of, like, that team is the thumbnail on why we do what we do. Whenever they were 12, that specific team, they started the year 7 and 17, which obviously we know it's not good. Dealing with injuries and me getting used to the players, but they ended up finishing the year very strong. Went to Omaha, finished really well in a World Series, and we just saw them progress and progress and progress. To where now they're they just finished their 14-year-old year,
Oh wow.
and they went playing the highest level of baseball in Louisiana. They went 31-13.
Oh my gosh.
They're they're ranked what, like
Yes.
third, second?
So we actually had
Third?
2 14-year-old teams this year. Within 2D,
Really?
they finished third in all of 2D, which is across. That's not just Louisiana. It's Alabama, Mississippi. They finished third
Oh
in the
wow.
South,
Nice.
and we had another team finish. We had another 14-year-old team finish sixth.
Wow.
Um,
I'm
We've-
impressed.
we've had a lot of like between those two teams. It's really hard to say. I know Kane wants me to say him.
Yeah, but he was hurt last year.
Yeah, he
Doesn't count.
he was hurt last year.
All our players are good. Yeah.
But we have an incredible group of guys. And honestly, he got hurt this year. But the amount of guys that stepped up. I mean, he was hurt. He was one of our better players, and the fact that we did as well as we did with him being hurt was awesome to see. I know for Robbie, it was awesome to see. For me, it was awesome to see.
They like rallied together, huh?
I mean, that's
Rose to the occasion.
Yep.
and honestly, that's what we want to see, because not
Absolutely.
all 11, 12, 13, 14 players are always going to be healthy. But we saw guys who aren't in spots that they are normally in.
Mm-hmm.
We put them in spots that they may not be used to or comfortable with, but we put them in those spots and they get comfortable with them and they thrived,
Amazing.
which is really cool to see.
Well, yeah, because they love each other. They care about each other. They're getting coached right. So all that happens. And what was the other question, Dad? Somebody had a question.
David.
How many home runs and steals will Nick get next season?
5 bags.
Yeah, I'll give him 5 bags and 5 home runs.
5 bombs.
Yeah.
5 bags, 5 bombs.
Oh my gosh. So, Dad, can you pull up their website too? I want to show everybody their website.
Yeah.
Pull that up real quick. Also, I want to ask y'all, do y'all have, so y'all aren't coaching, right? So are y'all like coaches? Like, do y'all have a team? Like, so like, or do y'all just coach all the different teams? Like, what is y'all's like jobs there? Or
So
is that a hard question? Or
No,
something?
no,
no,
Okay,
no,
okay, I'm
no.
sorry.
So like I said, we wanted to see that specific group through
Yes,
until they got to high school.
group. Okay,
It's a promise I made to the parents
absolutely.
and the families. But this year, me and Robbie are going to do something a little different. We have 6 teams, 8 through 13, 1 in each age group. And myself and Robbie are going to be roving coordinators, which means that we're going to be with all the teams throughout the week
I love that.
in some capacity. That's what they do in pro ball.
That's what they do in
Yes,
pro ball.
yes.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
it helps not only coach the players, right, which is the main thing, but also coach the coaches, especially younger coaches. We're able to be around more and help them more.
Absolutely. So y'all have hired coaches.
Everybody we have on staff is hired.
Hired. So it's not parent coaches.
There's no
Correct.
there's no dad. There's not a kid on any of our teams whose dad coaches.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's really healthy. Yeah, that's a good thing. So look, so here's some of that on your website, so you can explain wait, Dad, go back. What, what are you doing? So is this
That's
wait, no, Dad, go back.
The website automatically. puts
Oh,
those
okay.
up.
So I saw the class. Is that explain the classroom? You said that they because I saw that on the website, and I don't know, we didn't talk about that on air, but explain that like you teach them in a classroom environment.
Yes. So
Okay.
mental performance, we put them in a classroom setting. We put them through that in the fall in our winter program, which is 10 weeks, starts around mid-October, ends right before Christmas break for the boys.
Okay.
That way they already have, even newer teams and kids newer to the program have an understanding of, hey, this is how we deal with failure. Hey, this is how we can get the most out of ourselves. And we start that program with them at the age of 11.
I love that.
And we know that they're not going to get 100% out of it, but we know ingrain it in them for 2 to 3 years, 4 years, whatever it is. It's going to be a part of them.
It is. It is going to be a part of them.
And it's cool to see. I mean, obviously, it takes time. Like baseball, like most sports, takes time. And personality wise,
mm-hmm.
it's hard to change as a person like that, right? But if you're getting the right message across day in and day out from the right people, right, and they're going to hold you accountable, you're going to get to where you need to be, which is the best version of yourself, which is what we want to be.
And that's what I love about this, because y'all are really like just building the whole player. And gosh, we've been needing this in Baton Rouge and Ascension Parish you know that, Robbie.
Mm-hmm.
We've been needing something like this. Is what we need here. And I can I tell you how many times, I mean, and I know you saw it too, Robbie, growing up, just the behavior problems of the children and sometimes of the parent, just at the baseball park. And I'm not going to say what I used to call it, because nobody watch my show no more. But there was a certain quote unquote type of tournament ball parent that I would, and it was just like, I was busy putting on my lipstick. I was like, I just wanted my son to be happy. I didn't care if we won or lost. It was just for him just to be happy. Right. Some of these people, it's not that. So, I like how you're dealing with it. Okay. I'm sorry, Dad. Here's one of the, what is one of the most important things you instill in your players that you both carried with y'all through your own careers? Oh, good question.
I can start it.
Yeah.
For me, I would say it's staying with like a tunnel vision mentality. So there's a lot of external factors, a lot of external stresses, things outside the game, things that a parent's yelling or a coach is yelling or an umpire makes a bad call. But there's so many things that are out of your control. And my biggest thing is like, what can I do? How do I need to respond? I need to just cancel out the noise and just focus on what I have right in front of me at this moment.
That's awesome. That's a great answer. Is there another one that, okay, what is your best coach CJ story?
There's a lot.
Oh, I gotta think about this one.
Yeah. Before we get to that question, just based on the last question and piggybacking off of what Robbie said, is like controlling what you can control.
Yep, that's a good.
We don't control the umpire strike zone. We don't control how their teams act.
Yeah.
We don't control certain calls that umpires make, and there's a lot to it. And granted, sometimes you're in the right, but there's nothing you can do about it. If it's a bang bang call at first base, if it's a borderline strike ball, that's part of the game. If it's something that is egregious and that takes away from our boys, like, we're gonna go defend them, and they know that.
Absolutely.
But they also know that we're not going to coddle them, and we're not going to just go defend them to defend them based on a call that maybe it's borderline. It's like,
Absolutely.
okay, like if it's strike 3, right? What did you do the previous 2 strikes?
Good for you. Yes. Yes. Yeah, no, that's good. I like that. Also, before we answer that other question, do y'all have I had a question that somebody wanted me to ask. Do y'all have like league ball? Do y'all play league ball? Or is it just tournament?
So we play mostly tournament.
Just tournament.
Tournament
Okay.
baseball. It's something that I'm open to.
Okay.
And a big reason behind that is we value development, especially in the fall and the winter. Right, there's a lot of teams.
That's when y'all are doing that. Yeah.
We get bigger, stronger, faster, and we hone in our baseball skills, and we get those stronger. And obviously, those need to translate to a competitive setting, which is the baseball field. But we're starting to consider that more with our younger groups, like the 8s, the 9s, the 10s,
Okay.
that need to be out on the field, but we're never going to get away from the development side of things.
Absolutely. So
Off-season development.
So at y'all's place too, do y'all do like speed and agility, strength training, all the things like?
It's built into our fall program with
It's
our teams.
Okay, because that's, you know that, Robbie. That's I feel like that's just as important as playing. You have to be physically fit.
Developing their athleticism.
Yeah. And their strength and their speed and how to move and all the things. My kids did all that with you. You know that.
Yeah.
All right. So what was the question, Dad? I'm so sorry.
Let's see. It was Emily's question, I believe.
Yeah.
What is
there
it?
What is your best Coach CJ story?
I'm not gonna give specifics, but if you have a chance to ride in the back seat while CJ's driving, you need Dramamine and you need a handle to hold on to.
Oh, wow.
It's a ride.
It's a ride. Oh, my goodness. So, Dad, do we have another one? Do we have any?
So, my dad does a lot of the driving.
Your dad.
My dad's retired. He's a big baseball guy. He's around us a lot, and it's a really cool dynamic for me, obviously, but it's a really cool dynamic for them too.
That's awesome.
It's almost like obviously he's my dad, but it's more like he's a grandfather, right? So,
yeah.
But we also give him a lot of. We treat him like one of the boys because
fun animal.
Yeah, we do.
There you go.
And he loves that.
He loves being around it.
Oh, look, as a grandmother, I sub at St. Jude just because I get to be around my grandkids' friends. So I get that. It's such a gift that you're giving him, to be honest with you. That is a gift to him that you have him around.
Yeah, it's cool. Honestly, where we are today, and I know he's very he's proud, right? Which is cool to see.
Yes.
From father to son.
Absolutely.
Even though I poke fun at him a lot too, but I do. I mean, I love him. He's a big reason why.
Absolutely.
I'm where I am. He would come visit me in pro ball very often. Come to Little Rock, Arkansas.
That's cool.
With him and my mom. Like, my mom's not the she's not an athlete, okay? And she doesn't necessarily understand the baseball side of things, but she supports it because she knows that I'm passionate about it, and she knows he's passionate about it, which is why she's there, which is really also cool to see. I mean, she'll pop in at the facility just unannounced with food. That's just who she is.
I love that.
Cool.
And I wasn't a sports fan either. And you love your kids, and just let you know, as your mother loves you so much, and just to be able to just be a part of your life is just so special for us, and that you even let us be around as y'all get older. because that's special for her. I'm sure she just values all of it. Okay, this is my husband. What age groups and how many teams does TDP currently have?
So TDP is Total Diamond Performance.
Yes.
So that's the player development company. The Louisiana Mariners are the actual youth and high school teams.
Okay, there you go. He didn't understand that. Okay, so the Mariners is actually the team. That's the performance center.
Yes.
Okay.
So that I designed that separately. So essentially, the Mariners are run through TDP's
Okay.
player development structure.
Okay.
But TDP, the way it's set up, allows us to work with kids outside of our organization. So it allows us to work with high school kids. It allows us to work with kids, other kids that play for other youth teams. Because at the end of the day, like personally, like I want to get a kid to where he wants to go and where he wants to be.
So anybody can go.
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have to be on the Mariners to take advantage of this. No, that's good.
It's really cool. This past year, we worked with the Sulphur High School baseball program, the Live Oak baseball program, and also Dutchtown baseball program.
Oh wow!
On the mental performance side, which
was
good.
How was that?
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was awesome.
Really?
We obviously there's classroom settings, but I was able to be in the dugout, which is so there's classroom and then there's application, right? So it's just like you're teaching a subject, right?
Yeah.
You have to go apply it in a certain environment, a certain setting, right? So we have a certain amount of classroom settings, and then we have designated times where it's like, hey, like Dutchtown or whoever it is playing this team, and I'm gonna go be in the dugout for those boys, and I'm available to them to come talk to me, because obviously their coaches are coaching the baseball side of things, the strategy, all those things. That's not my job in that context. My job in that context is, whenever anything good or bad happens, and they want to come talk to me, they can come talk to me, and I'm there for them to give them advice. Hey, like, how should I have dealt with this from a mental perspective? It's got nothing to do with it's not X's and O's. That's not my job whenever it comes to that type of thing, which was awesome.
Yeah.
Because there's all three of those schools are 5A schools, which is the highest level in Louisiana.
And great players.
Yes.
Yeah.
And being around those guys and guys that are going to go play Division I, possibly go play pro ball, and those coaches are entrusting me, those players are entrusting me and entrusting us.
Well, you have a lot of responsibility.
But the buy-in, in my opinion, was a lot quicker than what I thought it would be. And a big reason behind that is I was there a lot. Like that's my expertise, is the mental side of things.
Yeah.
And whenever anybody, boys, girls, and whenever they see you around, like, it's about creating relationships.
Yep.
If I'm not around, I can't create a relationship with you. I'm, in the past, certain schools and organizations, there's platforms on the web to where it's like, hey, I can go pay for this for $1.99 a month, and then this guy's talking to me on a screen, right? Which is valuable, but what's even more valuable is having somebody
absolutely
in person that can help you.
100%. And God, kids need that so much, especially nowadays. I think they need that. So, Dad, do we have any other major questions that we might want to get to?
Well, I have.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot all about that. Okay, so Dad.
Well, my baseball career ended at about age 9 when a very hard hit ball in the infield high hopped into my chin and I've decided that I'd rather be a clarinet player in the band. so I don't have any real baseball experience. And my torn rotator cuff is not due to throwing too hard or anything like that. It was falling off a bike. But anyway, guys, just the universal questions that some people have, like, okay, how do you hit a curveball? What secrets are there? Or do you just tell people don't swing at that?
I'll take it.
You take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. So the trick is you have to stay on the heater. We have to be on time and ready to hit the fastest pitch that's coming to us. Once you see spin, you want to see it up, and then you react. So as long as we're on time for the hardest pitch to come, we can always get our foot down and wait a split second longer before pulling the trigger.
Oh, wow.
So on time with the heater, see the spin up.
Okay.
That's it.
Wow, cool. Okay, and the big rage right now is everybody's watching Paul Skeens throw for Pittsburgh, and it would be nice if they had a better batting on the club, because then they could actually contend. But he's throwing some kind of strange pitch that not many people can throw, and I don't know, the splinter, or what is that thing?
I'll speak on that. All right, so Paul Skeens obviously a very hard thrower. You know, he's probably 98 to 101 with his fastball.
You basically have to start swinging before.
Yeah,
Robbie.
So he throws a ball so hard to where he's throwing. I mean, he can call it a splinter. I mean, he deserves that right. So, but it's actually a split finger fastball. So.
Oh, okay.
So I don't have a baseball in my hands, but pretty much it gets him
on the shelf.
But it's in the thing, Dad.
But
anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it gets them off the fastball. It's for him. It also gets hitters off his changeup too. So it's a sharper pitch. It's harder. It's a harder pitch for a hitter to cover. So it's sharper movement. So for instance, a traditional changeup fades, right? So like does this, right? The split finger fastball is going to be harder and it's going to be sharper down and arm side.
It's going to be a drop ball.
Yes.
Yeah.
He just throws it so hard to where I guess he can call it whatever he wants. Which he deserves that right.
So, is there any way to pick that pitch up or what?
I mean, for that, I mean,
probably not.
I mean, for him, like you're sitting on one pitch,
right.
And if you get it and he makes a mistake, then you hit it. I mean, honestly, that's why he's been so successful early on.
It's just so beautiful to watch people swing real hard and that ball drop right in the back.
Yes.
And I got one more question, and that is that it's my understanding that baseball players are probably more into superstitions than a lot of other pro athletes. So how early does that start, and what's the deal? What's that all about?
I know for me, it started in travel ball whenever I was younger. Like if I had a good game wearing a certain pair of socks, I'd wear the same pair of socks the next game. Same with slide shorts. I'd try to wear the exact same thing I had, obviously with the extent to what we were wearing that day for a uniform. But man, that's like a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like a routine where it's things are going good. I'm gonna wear it. I know I'm gonna do good. But let's say your mom washed that pair of socks. It's in the washing machine, and you can't put on that pair of socks. Then you start almost thinking like a pessimist, like, oh, I'm guaranteed to not have success now because I'm not wearing my lucky socks.
Oh my goodness!
Well, that's true. And if you forget it.
Yeah, and once you start having those negative thoughts, you're guaranteed to stink that day. If you're not thinking positive thoughts all the time, you're not going to have success.
No, you're not.
So positive thoughts like give you that opportunity to succeed. It's not guaranteed, but it puts yourself in a good position.
And it's
succeed.
not the socks.
Yeah,
it's not the socks.
Part of what we teach them is actually within the mental performance. We teach them the difference between superstition and routine.
Oh.
So
I like that.
It's good to I mean, I still have superstition. I don't step on the foul line ever. Now if I step on it, does it mean my team's gonna lose? No, it doesn't mean that. Right? routine is something that we control, right? Superstition is something that's something we give power to. Routine is something that we have power to. So making sure, like, obviously, everybody, morning routine on a Saturday game. Hey, I eat this, I do this, do that.
Yeah.
Right. But know that, hey, if I step on this foul line, doesn't mean I'm doomed, and we make sure they understand that. Yeah. And they have a really good understanding of that.
You build kind of a mental muscle memory where they go to routine and it takes a lot of extra thinking out of worrying about it. What's this Black Crowes thing? Right.
It was a superstition.
Okay, all
right. At Dutchtown and at ULM, if I saw a black crow, it really didn't matter how good of a game I had, we would end up losing. And then once I got to Delgado, there were 20 crows on the field.
Oh no!
And every single game. Oh my God. So it was like that whole overcoming that mental block of we don't have a choice here. We're trying to win some ball games.
Right.
You're so
right.
funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well. So
one
now,
more comment.
one more comment. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for the both of you. What has been y'all's favorite moment of coaching? It's a great, great, great question.
I'll say mine was so it was last year. So particularly with that group that I had, and it was Robbie's first year with that group full time, is they'd been in a lot of championship games, but they'd never been able to get over the hump. And we faced a really good team. We had dealt with some adversity from other teams prior to that on Saturday, and we ended up winning our first tournament. And you could just tell, I saw a video of it. We saw a video of all of their excitement, because they've been putting, at that point with us, a year and a half of work in, and to see their excitement it was incredible. Obviously we had a great, it was a great year this year, but that's the first thing I think of.
What about you, Robbie?
I can't think of a specific favorite moment. The weekend you're talking about was incredible.
That was incredible.
The players that stepped up and rose to the occasion, and the at-bats that they gave, and the amount of passion that they played with was it was incredible to see. But just overall, the past 2 years of coaching these boys, the amount of growth and the way that they carry themselves off the field as well as on the field.
I like that.
They're young men. They
Good.
go about everything the right way. They own their mistakes, and their willingness to learn is incredible.
Those are all
and
huge
that's what I
things.
would say is something we try to do a great job of, is that we know that these players, some aren't going to make it to college, some aren't going to make it to pros, but can we develop those character traits that are going to make them highly successful
Absolutely.
individuals,
You're molding
family
these boys.
members,
Yes.
husbands, fathers, successful in their careers. So
Yeah, and just good human beings.
yes.
Yep,
yes.
that's what you're that good human beings.
Yep.
That's what y'all's goal, and I love that. So the Total Diamond Performance is pretty much open to anybody that wants to go, kids that want to go and train. Anybody can go and train over there, right?
Yeah. So we have we have individual lessons. We have classes. We have small groups. We have camps. We work with anybody from the 7-year-old to the professional.
Okay.
A guy that Robbie played with, Jacob Wagasback.
I remember Jacob.
You remember him?
I think I brought him to. I drove him around one time with a couple of times with Duty going to workout or something.
Yeah.
Pick him up.
Yeah, he went to Nate.
Yeah, he went to Nate. So I think I picked him up with Duty going to workout when they couldn't drive.
No, it was cool. So Jacob's now with the Tampa Bay Rays. Prior to that, he was with was it Oryx Buffaloes?
Yes. Yeah.
And the Nippon Professional League, which is in Japan.
Yes.
It's outside of Major League Baseball. It's the best league for for those guys to go play in.
Oh, wow.
And prior to that, I think he was drafted by the Phillies. He got some time in pro ball before that with the Phillies and the Blue Jays, but fast tracking before he went back for his second year with Oryx Buffaloes. Obviously, him and Robbie have a very close relationship, and we let Jacob come train there just to get his work in during the off season.
Yeah.
And I was able to spend a good amount of time with him, and I was able to help him. I wasn't a pitcher, but I spent a lot of time in pro ball around pitchers and pitch design and being able to read, Rapsodo, which is a pitching metric software. And, we worked on one thing, and I was able to help him with some certain verbal cues and hand placement. And he was able to make a certain pitch better in one setting. And it was cool. And he didn't have to trust me. He doesn't really know me. But I think a lot of that stems from Robbie and also him knowing my background.
Absolutely.
To trying new things. And the way the Rapsodo works is it's a very high-end tool that every single Major League Baseball organization uses from the top to the bottom as far as pitching development is concerned. It's very trustworthy. So I'm able to interpret the numbers that are coming across based on certain things he's doing, like, hey, let's try this. Hey, we got better horizontal break, or it depends what the guy's trying to accomplish with the pitch. But being able to communicate with him or any player with that, and my experience with other guys, translating that to him is like, hey, try this. Like,
no, I mean,
let's see what happens. All right, cool.
No,
like,
absolutely,
Yep.
absolutely. And I think I might have one question. Somebody, y'all are popular. I'll tell you. I guess my son-in-law's asking, any changes to the traction complex they purchased planned? Like, have y'all planned anything?
So we're leasing it. Just
Leasing, okay.
We're leasing it.
Okay, you're leasing.
So I'll talk a little bit about that. Is Tom Bernhardt.
Tom. Okay, so Tom was Duty's hitting coach, and he's Carter's.
Yes.
Love Tom.
So it's pretty cool how things come full circle. So Tom and his family, they own that side.
Okay.
Tom's family's from Miami.
Okay.
Tom was my hitting coach whenever I was 15,
Really?
16 years old.
And that was he's
That's
such a great guy.
That's where me and his relationship started. Tom gave me my first coaching job whenever I was 19. It was with him, with a 9-year-old team.
So good.
And that's where all this really stemmed from, is me and him have a really good relationship. He told me about this opportunity that may come up, and obviously there's things you got to work through.
Absolutely.
But he got to a point to where he's, he trusts me. He knows what, he's been keeping track of me throughout my baseball career, not only as a player, but as a coach, going off, and working in professional college baseball. And he's big advocate of mine. I'm a big advocate of his too. And he's super excited about it, but that's where all this stemmed from, was Tom.
And can I tell you, I'm a big fan of Tom, because now he coached Duty in hitting, and then now he has Carter, and we love him. And I just can't say enough good about. He's such a he was just so calm, and the way he taught was just perfect. Really love him. All right. Well, Dad, do we have any other questions before we go?
Nope, we're good on the questions.
We are good on the questions. I see somebody that's Robbie got ejected out of a game one weekend.
Yeah, well, is that a true story or
Is
what?
that a true story?
Yeah. It was the tournament that we were talking about.
Okay.
Where we came back and won it.
That's funny.
There's a team we were playing against, and the first and third base coaches were getting very close to the foul line and peeking into our catcher signs and verbally relaying it to their hitters. And it was on a Saturday pool play game. Like, the game didn't matter. But they ended up coming back and hitting a go-ahead home run to win the game. And I went off on their coaches and got kicked off. And the thing about it is there's a right way to steal signs and a wrong way. Like, stealing signs has been part of the game for forever. And it's one thing for players to pick up tells from other players.
Right.
And it's another thing for a coach to steal signs from a player.
Yeah, that's
Belichick
uncalled
for.
like,
The boys, they're 13-year-old boys.
That's crazy.
Like, they still have a lot to learn about the game.
Absolutely.
Now, if a coach steals a sign from another coach, like, that's okay. Or, like I said, players stealing signs from other players, as long as it's done the right way and it's very discreet. But they were very obnoxious about it, and it was just super uncalled for, and I don't feel bad about it.
No, you shouldn't. Stand up for your boys. You should always stand up for your
That's right. Our boys got cheated that game.
That's right.
And that's unfair to them.
And that's your job to defend
That's
your
right.
boys.
That's
That's
right.
right. I know. Honey's got you. So, Dad, put up that they have group lessons. If you go to their website,
Bring the website back.
Total Diamond Performance. So now that I kind of understand, anybody can go do hitting lessons. You can sign up for the classes, right? So that's open to anybody. The Mariners, y'all's baseball team, y'all's tournament teams are already picked for the summer, for next summer, right?
Yes, we have 6.
So y'all don't have no more tryouts. It's over. When will be the tryout? When would the tryouts happen again for the following year?
So typically we do.
Typically, yeah, I know it's not going to be the exact date.
Typically we do early July.
Early July, that's when that would happen.
So
Okay.
July 2025 for the 2026 season.
Okay.
It's just the way we have to do it.
No, absolutely. Well, I think I know Carter is over there with Tom. I guess he's over there. He does hitting lessons, but y'all gonna be seeing more Carter. I can tell you that.
Can't wait.
Well, thank y'all so much for
Thank you.
coming on. I
gentlemen,
know.
Thanks for having us.
I
Learn
mean,
some baseball tonight.
I know. I'm really excited about all
And
this.
coaching.
I know the coaching part too. I think this is genius. What you've done. It's amazing. And Robbie, I mean, he's great. I mean, who wouldn't want Robbie on their side, right?
I agree.
This
All
is
right.
a great state for football, and of course, this is a great city for football. And now you guys are just raising it up at the younger level to something that is commensurate with the state of Louisiana and what it's been known for here the last.
That
20,
was
30 years
baseball,
of
Dad.
baseball,
Did you
yeah.
say football?
No, baseball.
Baseball.
Yeah, baseball.
I thought he said football.
Yeah, we got ULL and McNeese, and
no.
we got a lot of great teams here.
No, we do. We do.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Thank you, gentlemen, very much. Honey, what we got next week, you know?
we have Taylor and
David, huh?
David coming in. And Taylor's going to be talking about Taylor was going to be a nun. And she decided that's not what she was going to be. So she decided to, now she's getting married, and her fiance is going to become Catholic, and he's going to tell us about his journey.
So this is like vocations and conversions.
That's right.
Yeah, really cool.
Really
All right.
cool.
We look forward to it. Y'all be back with us next week, Wednesday at 7, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you, gents. Love you. Bye-bye.